So the Texas Chainsaw Massacre has just announced their content pass. This is what I'm assuming is more of an old school style season pass and not a battle pass, meaning you won't have to grind for any of the content. It'll just be given to you when it releases as long as you own the pass, but you won't be able to earn the next pass for free like you do with most battle pass systems. So it's up to you how you feel about that. Now, at first, I was pretty excited about this announcement, and then I noticed the dates, September 2024 all the way to February 2025. And when I saw this, I'm not gonna lie, my butthole did get pretty tight. So let's go through this, analyze it, and see if it makes sense. Now, starting at the beginning of our timeline, we have our last premium DLC drop of Hans and Maria on June 11th. That makes me assume that our next premium content is going to release in September and then again in December. That's 9 months, which is very long for sure, but it equates to a premium DLC every 3 months, assuming they release another premium DLC in March of 2025 after the pass ends. Now, that's pretty standard for live service games to have 4 premium DLCs a year, and this does equate to that if they keep the cycle going on time. Now, let's assume that September will bring a new victim, a new family member, and a new map all at the same time. I think it would be best if they did it that way. Trickling in the premium content over time doesn't have the same oomph factor to it that brings a lot of people back to the game like a fully packaged DLC drop, right? And it also really screws with the matchmaking times, so hopefully it all drops together. Then all the way down in December, we get a new mode and a new map that is specific to that new game mode. And most likely it won't truly be a new map, but probably more of just a heavily redesigned map that already exists in the game, like Family House or something like that. But you never know, it could be entirely new. Regardless, there's a lot riding on this new game mode, because we're getting this new mode in place of a full premium DLC. It is taking the spot of a new victim, a new family member, and a new universal map that can be added to the map pool. That is a huge risk to take. If this new mode sucks, that would mean 7 months in between premium new characters being added to the game if we're going by the idea that one launches in September and one launches in March. And I'm actually being serious when I say that TCM's entire future might depend on this game mode delivering. Now, on why Gun decided to make a new game mode, I'm guessing they realized by now that TCM's 3v4 format does not work for the game they intended to create. So most likely this new game mode will be trying to rectify that in some way. It's very possible it's a co-op mode or even some kind of mode where everyone is trying to outlast each other, more like a free-for-all thing. I do not see this being another extremely competitive mode like the base game. If it is another extremely competitive mode, that would be a huge mistake in my opinion. Also, something I really don't like is that the content pass grants you early access to this mode, which just doesn't seem like a good idea. It's cashing in on FOMO at potentially the cost of horrible matchmaking times. And as someone who is going to buy the content pass, I would much prefer everyone can play this new game mode at the same time. I don't feel like I'm getting any value out of early access, and if anything, it's just going to risk making the game mode a worse experience, so I do hope they reconsider that. Moving on to the fluff of the content pass, we have 4 new cosmetic DLCs and 1 new execution pack. Now, execution packs are whatever, it doesn't really matter what's in them, you kind of know what you're getting, right? So that's fine. But with the cosmetic packs, I, and I'm sure others, would like to know more about at least who these are going to be for. Otherwise, that might be kind of annoying for people who maybe don't use or possibly even own the characters that are actually getting the cosmetics. The last thing is the price point. It's $20. That's the price you pretty much pay for 2 new characters anyway, and I'm totally fine with it. And they say it's $45 worth of content, so that makes me assume these 5 fluff packs are each valued around $5. On top of that, there's additional fluff content outside of the pass coming out over the next 6 months. We have a few new packs, that's cool. The victim hair pack is really interesting, assuming every victim is included and not just the original 5 victims. That's going to add a lot of diversity to victims and make them stand out as they mix and match their cosmetics. We're also getting 2 more execution packs, which is awesome. I love executions, but they do have to give us a random execution option at some point with all of these executions being added to the game. I remember in Friday the 13th, Jason had like 4 execution options as well as environmental executions, and you could like equip them and unequip them as you wanted, and it helped keep the executions variable and interesting. With TCM, even the most nasty executions, and they've made some pretty nasty executions, can get dull if you see them over and over again, right? So just give us a randomized option. Maybe let us disable some executions if we don't like them, or if they get us demonetized. I'm looking at you, Slasher Leatherface. One of the best executions in the game, but YouTube no likey. Moving on to the free content during this time, we're getting obviously the 2 new maps, one for rush mode and one for the base game. We're getting, I'm assuming, rain variants for 3 maps that are already in the game. Hopefully that adds some new interesting mechanics to the actual gameplay to shake things up. Then of course we're getting rush as this, free new game mode. You just don't have early access to it. Now overall, I think this roadmap is pretty decent. I've mentioned my concerns with it. Only time will tell what Gunn has planned. Obviously, this roadmap does not include balance changes, map changes, and things like that I do assume we will be getting pretty frequently, and that will also help keep the game fresh for veteran players for better or worse. The real sink or swim of all of this is really just down to the level of quality that the DLC actually brings to the game. If the next big DLC is a TCM 2 DLC with Chop Top and the abandoned theme park, that will be enormous for the game, right? So it really all does weigh on the quality of the DLCs. Hopefully there'll be more hits than misses. With that, let me know your thoughts on the content pass. Are you going to buy it? Are you going to wait to see what's in it first? Let me know. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video because it helps me out a ton. And as always, thanks for watching and have a cringe one.